A new poll asks for public opinion about gender identity in schools. In conjunction with Desiree, not sure, News, a new Harris X poll conducted in January surveyed 1,828 voters about whether and when teachers should discuss issues of gender identity and sexuality with students. Conservative politicians have significantly complicated the discussions on these issues in the country by perpetuating many harmful myths, falsehoods, and hypothetical scenarios about transgender and greater LGBT community in a broad effort to sow fear and division and ultimately garner votes. From whether to talk about gender identity in schools to whether lawmakers should make some treatments illegal, Americans remain deeply divided, largely among party lines. Not surprising. The study finds a near split on the topic of whether gender identity and sexual orientation should be discussed in schools, with a slight 51% majority saying it should not be allowed. 78% said that sexual orientation and gender identity should not be discussed before grade 7 or before grade 4. I'm sorry. So that's one area where there is a lot of consensus. Among respondents who thought gender identity and sexuality should be taught to students, 9% felt it was appropriate at the fourth grade level or higher. 36% said sixth grade and up. 35 said ninth grade and up, and 21% said at any age. So the thing to remember about this is bills like the Florida Don't Say Gay bill restrict teachers from talking about gender identity at all. The wording of these sorts of things and the way it seems to be talked about is instruction of gender identity and sexual orientation. But what's getting caught up in that is if there's a student who has, wants to use a different name and is transgender and has different pronouns, the teacher is not allowed in these instances to support that and to use those because there's a lot of question and confusion from other students. So the teacher has to teach them about that, has to tell them about why this is happening. And we see so many parents roiling over the fact that their quotes are their children are being taught these, quote, gender ideology aspects. And it's really unfortunate because it really hamstrings teachers from supporting students who need it. What happens is the discussion around it seems to circle around teaching, like a lesson plan that is developed for this to teach third graders about sex. And it's so much more nuanced than that. It's really disappointing to see the perception of things like this in our country and the way it's being talked about.